Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope you all are well, staying warm, and happy weekend to everyone, and also Super Bowl weekend. Thank you so much. New York Post is the source pertaining to the information that I'm about to bring to you guys. This is interesting. What is the truth? Excuse me. Hello. Bahamas resort where two moms say they were drugged. Essayed by staffers alleges surveillance footage doesn't match claims. Okay. A Bahamas resort where two Kentucky mothers claimed they were drugged and raped by two employees said that the women's account of what happened does not match its security footage. Amber, Shira, and Dongala Dobson said they were assaulted in broad daylight by staffers at Pirates Cove while relaxing on the beach while their Carnival cruise ship was docked on the Grand Island in the Bahamas. The longtime friends say they were offered a drink special by an employee, but after just 15 minutes began to feel incredibly intoxicated. They were ushered by a staff member into a secluded area to look for shells. And then Shira says she came to while she was being raped by a man in a uniform. The pair, covered in cuts and bruises, reported the sexual assault to Royal Bahamas police, who later arrested two men, a 40-year-old of South Bahama and a 54-year-old 8 Mile Rock. Police said the investigation remains ongoing, but Pirates Cove claims that surveillance footage reveals the two women's accounts don't add up. Upon further review of the surveillance videos, the allegations made on site and in subsequent social media posts and news stories conflict with the time-stamped surveillance videos contain, Pirates Cove Beach Resort said in a statement without divulging further details, the Daily Mail reported. Pirates Cove also confirmed that the two employees have been fired, saying that whatever conduct they engaged in on tape indicates that at a minimum, they violated our zero tolerance policy. Interesting. Carnival Cruise Line confirmed to the Post on Wednesday that two guests aboard the Carnival Elation reported the sexual assault, which occurred while on an independent shore excursion. Our onboard care team provided support for the two guests as they sailed back to Jacksonville, the cruise company said. Dobson and Shears remembered being on the beach and almost immediately feeling as if something besides alcohol was in their cocktails. Less than a few sips into the second drink, we knew something was wrong. Something was terribly wrong, Shearer told News Nation Cuomo. Even their loved ones were concerned after speaking with them on video, she said. She recalled waking up in horror. I came to in the process of my rape, she said through sobs. They said they don't believe their allegations were properly handled and cops did not administer rape test kits at their requests. And I mentioned that to you in the last commentary pertaining to this storyline that allegedly the Bahamian police told them, well, if you get a rape kit, you won't be able to return back to the USA. So that's very bizarre. Back on the cruise ship, the moms received the results of their toxicology test, which showed they had a plethora of drugs in their systems, including benzodiazepines. They had notably minimum alcohol in their bodies and bruising on their legs. Just 5 days before their vacation, Bahamian Prime Minister Philip Davis insisted that the country was a safe destination for tourists. Now we have to ask ourselves, why was he saying that? Is it because you know that you have a lot of crime on your island? I'm curious. The U.S. Embassy in the Bahamas released a security warning and travel advisory last month, saying that the island nation is currently unsafe for tourists and amid 18 murders, primarily, in quotations, motivated by gang violence in January alone. The State Department issued a level 2 advisory on January 26, just over a week before the two American women were allegedly raped. Dobson and Shears, who had never left the country before, said Carnival should have warned them about the dangers in the Bahamas. And inside of the article, you'll see scratches on one of the legs. I'll show you that here in a second. We had no idea what was going on in the Bahamas, none whatsoever, Dobson told the station. We were targeted from the moment we were spotted. Here are the travel advisories for Bahamas and Jamaica. The U.S. Embassy issued a stark security warning and travel advisory on January 24th after the Bahamas saw 18 primarily gang-related murders in January. The U.S. Embassy warning urged travelers to exercise extreme caution on the eastern side of the Bahamas capital city, Nassau. Bahamian Prime Minister Philip Davis said in a statement, the government is alert, attentive, and proactive in keeping the island nation welcoming to travelers. The State Department issued a stark travel warning for Jamaica after it was rocked by 65 murders last month. Wow. The U.S. Embassy in Jamaica upgraded the travel advisory to a level 3, reconsider travel, which is just one level short of the most severe, which warns Americans against travel altogether. The Bahamian and Jamaican tourism boards are insisting the countries are still safe for tourists despite the United States warnings. The women's attorney, Nicholas Gerson, told News Nation that Carnival has a legal duty to warn about dangerous conditions they should have known about. Carnival actually markets this particular excursion on their website. They actually profit from the excursion, he added. So Carnival should have warned our clients. The warning should have come from the State Department. Carnival said it's cooperating with authorities' investigation. That's the set information, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello. Let me sip some water before I get started. Okay. Warnings by the state, the embassy. These women claimed they didn't find out anything until after they reported the incident, which was 4 hours later, allegedly. Cctv footage from the resort says the timestamp isn't correct of what they are claiming. Well, if they don't remember anything, I'm confused at all of it. Your timestamp versus what they told you. So now we got to, as Hagen said last night, we don't really know what they told the police. But if you were out of it, what could you tell? Only thing you could tell is what you remember beforehand and your state when you woke up, okay? So all that's in question. So Jamaica, 65 murders a month ago. Bahamian Prime Minister said in a statement beforehand, proactive, alert, attentive, welcoming to travelers. Entitled to believe what you want. U.S. Embassy warned about going to the capital city, Nassau, on that eastern seaboard. Exercise extreme caution. U.S. Embassy issued a security warning and travel advisory on the 24th of January about the Bahamas due to 18 gang-related murders. The women feel like they were targeted. So we have to ask that. Why those two? Once again, they had no idea what was going on as far as crime or whatever, which seems strange because it seemed like to me you would have done your homework and researching the place you want to go on the boat. Maybe that's all they cared about was the cruise line and its reputation. What's baffling about this information is the liability. Who's liable? Well, now they can loop Carnival into it because Carnival gets a percentage from this resort. That's why I asked the question last night. Are they in cahoots? Are they owned by the same company? Same part? Is it a partnership? What? Because for them to say they get a pay for recommending tourists to go to this location speaks volumes. Let me go back and read that to you all. 1 second. Okay. Have to go back up. No, I can't find it. Okay. Carnival Cruise Line confirmed. Oh, I lost my place. 1 second, everybody. I hate reading these articles. Anywho, they recommend this place and they get a cut. It's the best I can do right now because this thing keeps jumping all over the place. What is on the CCTV footage? That's what I'm curious about. What is on the footage that doesn't line up with what the women have claimed? Many people are going to be curious. What is on the footage? Did they give a time that they got to the resort or the time that they got the drinks? I'm confused because they're not telling us anything. 2 of the staffers have been fired, and assuming those are the 2 that have been arrested. 54-year-old and 40-year-old. Older, yes, but if you're sick, you're a sadist, it doesn't matter. Age doesn't have crime doesn't have a time limit or age limit. So therefore, if you're sick, you're sick. So 2 staffers targeted these women. They had 2 drinks and they felt sluggish. 15 minutes. Began to feel incredibly intoxicated. So now we have to ask this question. Did they get 2 drinks by the staffers? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay? If they got 2 drinks, sorry, I feel like I'm just kind of out of sorts right now. I don't know what I'm saying. How many drinks did the guys give them? Why didn't you think something? Why could you not realize something was up? 2 people, it doesn't take 2 men to give drinks. It's like when you go to a bar. There's either 1 bartender or 2, depending on the crowd of the room. It's not real busy. You won't have a massive amount of bar staff. So I need to know where they were in the resort when they were confronted with the drinks. Why does it take 2 people to give 2 drinks? You hold a tray and put 2 drinks on a tray. This is why this is baffling to me. So did one go to her and give her a drink? Then the other guy went to her and gave her a drink. Were they actually servers? See, you got to ask all those questions. We now learned that they did work there. So that was one of the questions I had last night when talking to Hagen. Were they actually staff members? I said, what if we find out they don't even work there? They're just some random people put on some uniforms. Okay, so work there. What was their title? What's on the CCTV footage that doesn't match up with what the women told? What did the women tell authorities that doesn't line up? Is it actual CCTV footage? Has something been cut, altered? So you got to ask all those questions. People are very savvy. They know how to go in and redo stuff, edit stuff, cut stuff off. Was it turned over to the police? Will their lawyer get the copy? The embassy, state, so on and so forth. I'm confused. I'm just going to be honest. I'm confused at the information because I'm in the water and I'm starting to feel sluggish. So is this drink 1 or drink 2? Did they put something in both drinks? Why am I wanting to go look for shells after feeling sluggish coming out of the water? If I'm coming out of the water and I feel like something is wrong, I've drank too much, or I think there's something in my drink, I think I would have gone to the staff then and said, hey, what's in this drink? We don't drink a lot, as they told Cuomo. They had gastric bypass surgery, both. So they can't consume a lot of beverages, food, so on and so forth. So you know yourself, you know your body. You know what you're drinking, not drinking. If you know that you can't hang at 2 drinks and you start feeling weird on drink 1, then you should have went and said something to somebody. Hey, I need to speak to a manager, supervisor. There's something weird. I've only drank 1 drink and I'm feeling funny. So I have to use deduction, just listening to the information, it's just an off story to me. I'm not here to say that they're not telling the truth. It's just, I hate when they bring a story and then, the news, whoever is doing the talking, you're just giving us bits and pieces. It's not how you give a story. Let the person tell everything verbatim. If they can't tell you the story verbatim, You shouldn't be interested in doing a news interview. And if you as the news producers can't give us a straight 12-minute version or whatever, then what is the point? I'm not trying to be rude, but that's why I don't like talking about crimes, because this is what comes with it. This 5-minute here, 3-minute there. And before you know it goes on and on and on. You're like on day 8, 2 months in. And you're sitting here like, well, when are we going to get the version? Verbatim. I got off the boat at this time. I waited 5 minutes for a taxi, 15 minutes for a taxi. The taxi let me out here. I walked over here and ordered a drink. The guy had dark hair, glasses, whatever. I went to the beach, sat for a while. Then I got in the water. See where I'm going? Give a timeline. Now what's weird? The resort is saying their claims don't match. But what they saw from the staffers was against their zero tolerance policy. So now let's ask that question. What did you see on the camera that told you, okay, we're going to fire these 2 guys? Help me understand. What did you see on the camera that said we need to fire these 2 guys? They were lingering too long, not working, running around trying to hand other women drinks. You saw them on camera giving these 2 drinks. What did you see? What did they do? Now, will they admit to whatever's on the CCTV footage plus assaulting the 2 women? Because in order for you to arrest them, they've done something. So see, that's kind of contradictory to say, well, what we saw on the camera is why we fired them. Zero tolerance. So what did they do that violated your policy? Like I said, not working in the wrong department, handing out drinks, wasn't supposed to. Like I said last night, were these janitors, running around with coconuts with straws? Now, the 2 guys arrested. Will the 2 women be able to identify the 2 men as the 2 men that were in their peripheral with drinks and who led them off into a secluded area to pick up shells? And I'm going to say this because this is bizarre to me once again. The claims of not matching up to whatever they saw on the camera, confusing. The fact that you feel woozy and then you would still go pick up shells. I mentioned this in the past 2 lives. Why in the world would you go pick up seashells or do anything that's getting farther away from the resort? Do you understand what I'm saying? 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. What is the point? I don't understand. And see, and people, aren't saying, hey, don't be mean, no victim bashing. But you have to use common sense, because I refuse to believe myself that you did not know bad things happen on the island. How could you not know this? Now, as Hagen said, are they just, have a backwoods mentality or not to be rude, but just saying, are you living in a place so slow in Kentucky that you don't know there's crime in foreign countries? How could you not think there's crime? You got crime in Kentucky. You have drug trafficking, drug addicts, robberies. Why would you think it wouldn't happen in this place? Now we've got the carnival saying they recommend this place and they get a profit for sending people over there. So how does that work? What is their percentage? That's in this article. If you need verification, New York Post is the source. Show you the scratches on one of the women's legs. Oh man, what a mess. You don't know what you're listening to. Now, they were posing together. I'm assuming that's at the resort, Bahama Village or something. I don't know. That was Sunday. Okay. Scratches on the leg with bruises. I just mentioned to you the State Department issued warnings. The U.S. Embassy gave warnings, all recent, before these women went on the trip. Let me make that clear. January 26th, a level 2 advisory before these women left the United States. U.S. Embassy issued one for the Bahamas in a month before, saying it's unsafe, currently unsafe for tourists amid 18 murders, primarily motivated by gang violence. So you got issued warnings by the state and the embassy, number 1. 2, how did you not know this? 3, was it not in your itinerary? 4, you didn't think to ask anyone. What's on the CCTV footage? What is it that doesn't match what they're saying? Once again, I'm going to say this. You left out the water, allegedly, with 2 strange men who should have been working the damn resort. That's where you messed up right there. Okay? You also messed up in the beginning. Taking something from somebody and assuming they're what? Staff, bar staff. Everybody at the hotel don't do the same thing. I think we know this. Front desk, they might have a van driver to take people around the island or wherever, airport, however it works. See, you got to pay attention. There's going to be a janitor. There's going to be somebody that makes the beds, the housemaid. And then your porter, that's the person that does things around the hotel, the lobby, clean it up, and maybe do the van driving or however, houseman, housewoman, whatever, however you want to call it. So make me understand how you go from going into the water, feeling woozy, and then coming out of the water, and then here they are again saying, oh, hey, we're going to show you where you can get those shells. So how many shells did they get? Probably didn't care about a shell after coming to in the bathroom, allegedly. So where they were, how far is it from the resort? See, this is why it doesn't add up. Because at some point you had to wake up and make your way from picking up shells to pass out in the bathroom. So do the math. Water, woozy. The guys pop back up. That means they weren't working. Stay woke now. They eyed us from the beginning, allegedly. We go into the water. We come out woozy. And then we meet back up with the same guys. Just listen. All you have to do is repeat it. That's why I always tell people, repeat it back to yourself, what you're hearing. And ask yourself, does it make any sense what you are hearing? Okay? Woozy, woozy, woozy. I feel strange. I haven't been drinking this much. What's wrong with me? Why would I then go look for rocks, seashells, unicorns, whatever, with 2 strange men who just gave me drinks that made me feel odd? I don't go question them. I don't go question the supervisor, manager to say, hey, I think something's wrong here. We're feeling too sick and we don't even drink that much, number 1. 2, we've only drank 1 drink or we only drank 2 drinks. So how many drinks did they drink? Because you want me to believe you had 2 drinks in the ocean? Help me understand. Or by the time you drank the 2nd drink, you were in the water. You went in the water after the 2nd drink. But you still can't explain coming out of the water and hooking up with these 2 men who should be doing something else besides being in front of 2 white women. Okay? Help me understand. Why are they in the faces of these 2 women and not working? What were their positions? Will they be prosecuted to the full extent of the law? Because we already know how they do shit over there in those foreign countries. They give them a slap on the wrist, they're out of jail in 2 years, 7 years, it's on. And we already know when it comes to sexual assault here in America, men don't get the correct amount of time for assaulting children or adults, elderly. You only get time in prison if you unalive a person. And sometimes you still don't get 30, 40 years, a life sentence. You can get 7, 8 years, good behavior, boom, you out. Now you're going to say, where did the drugs come from? And I don't know when they had the surgery. They just mentioned it on News Nation. I guess, making a reference, you can't eat a whole lot, which most people know that know about gastric bypass. You don't have to have it to know if you are grown. You know what I'm saying? It's always been said, once you have the surgery, you can't consume, a lot of food. So I didn't take it personal when they said that, like they were too wordy. Because, everybody's got their perception of what people say and mean when they're talking. A lot of people in the comment sections are going off like, why are you throwing that out that you had gastric bypass? Maybe they were trying to let the host know, well, you can't eat that much anyway. So that's why we know we didn't have a lot to drink. And allegedly, once again, the staff on the boat gave them a test which showed drugs in their system, but little alcohol. Little to no alcohol. So maybe those drugs sucked up all the alcohol, because you got to ask yourself, how big was the coconut and the fruit? How much alcohol was actually put in the drink? Because one of them said it was kind of strong. So as Hagen said last night, now I got to go back to that. See, it's always something you got, to keep remembering about a story to make it fit. Where did they make the drinks? Because we now know that they actually worked there. What were their positions? How did they get the drinks? Were they servers? Bartenders? What was their position? And why are they fixated on these two women? All these people at the resort. Think about this now. All these people running around the resort, in and out, from the boat to boats docking to actual people at the resort. And you pick these two white women. Why? I want to know why. But I tell myself, don't ask why, ask why not. Because I'm sick. I'm going to say this. I want to have some fun. They were attracted to me. I want to do this for follies, whatever. But broad daylight, that's where this was a problem for me. Do people get robbed, stabbed, shot in the daytime? Of course. Another thing that's bothering me is access to the resort. I thought about that last night, because as I always tell people, that's when I do my best thinking, is at nighttime about just anything, true crime or just life in general. Nighttime is because nighttime is my quiet time. This is where I digest everything from the day, life. Resort. When I think about a resort, I don't personally think of going there unless I have booked a room. I hope everybody's following me where I'm getting ready to go with this. The fact that you are on a cruise ship, you docked, got off, took a taxi, could have been harmed in a taxi. You go to this place, order drinks that you are not booked into. Are you all following me? That means any random bloke, female, can just poop, 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 walk onto the property and mingle with the people. Are you listening to me? Think about that for just a second. If you got off a boat that's docked on free water, big water, get in a cab, he drops you off, and then you are now walking onto no man's property with no invitation. You're not going to see your mother, your brother, your sister, just because possibly they recommend go there, the Carnival cruise ship. You go to this place, don't know nothing about it, just assume it's okay, and then you get assaulted. What is wrong with this picture? Everything. The fact is that any random person could just walk up to the damn resort. Are you all following what the fuck I'm saying? Could anybody just run and get on that damn cruise ship? Hell no. Because 9 times out of 10, you've got to have some type of bracelet or pass or card or something to show you were a passenger on the boat. Okay? Because if that's the case, anybody could just jump on a damn boat. So now let's fast forward, flip it around. Random people walking onto the property of a resort that people are spending their hard-earned money. I'm sure it was expensive. That's why they took the 2-for-1, but it was a setup. So imagine anybody just walking around the resort looking for people to rob, looking for you to put your bag down, your keys. How do you get back in your room? You got to have a card, don't you? A card or a key. How are you going to hold on to all that in the water? How are you going to hold on to your cell phone, your credit card, your money in the water? Because somebody's going to have to watch your things. So now imagine I'm on this trip by myself, but I want to get in the water. So am I going to take my coconut drink, glass drink, keys, credit card, cash, whatever, into the water? Even on the beach, you close your eyes. Anybody can come by and take your bag. And this is something that could happen to you at home, right here in the United States. Hello. Because somebody has to watch stuff. It's no different than going to a bar, club. You want to dance. If you have carried a big old pocketbook with you, which I don't recommend carrying purses to bars, big purses. Because it never makes sense to me to see a big ass purse in a bar. I always tell women, why are you carrying that big ass purse? You need something small, just put your keys, makeup, debit card, cash, and something to hold that big ass cell phone. You know, that big old that big old iPhone computer. But you get my drift. You don't need a big old purse at a resort, at a bar, at a club, hell, at a wedding, church. It's all the same to me. Carry a little bag. Crossover is preferable. I'll tell anybody that, especially if you know you're clumsy and you get crunk and get drunk. You like to dance. Crossovers on you. Do your little thing. Sit your tail on down. Going to the bar. Same thing. Crossover. Shopping. Crossover. You ain't got to worry about sitting the purse down, this and that, phone over here, keys over here. You got to think. And these ladies weren't using their thinking caps if we're to believe the allegations that they have brought forth. Okay? But now we have a problem. The resort is saying TV footage don't match what they're saying. So now we got to ask, what is it that doesn't match? What's the percentage of Carnival's due bill in dealing with this resort? Because I just brought you commentary that says they get a percentage for recommending people to go there. I don't even know how that would work out. Because how are you going to prove somebody came from this Carnival cruise and bought a drink or whatever from the resort? So are these two owned by the same company? Sister company, parent company, what? New York Post is the source if you need verification for anything I'm saying during this live stream. I don't know what to say. Hello, everybody in the chat. I was wondering if they could have been taking meds. Well, you wouldn't be taking those kind of meds. You would have already been passed out before getting on the plane. You got to get on a plane or you got to drive to Florida. Then you got to wait, dock the boat and all that. That's a whole day's worth of traveling, depending on where you're coming from. And they came from Kentucky. So Kentucky's not near Florida. So they would have been already out. And that's another thing. Taking meds. Who's going to take those kind of meds with them? So now you got to prove if they took the meds themselves and pretended to be drugged. Where were the drinks made? At the bar? At a table? Were they actually bar wait staff? See, now you got to ask all those questions because something is not adding up. How do you wake up in the bathroom from seashell collecting? Secluded area. How far is it from the resort? Or is it on the property? See, got to ask that too now. How big is the resort? The place they picked up the seashells, is it also a part of the resort's property? This is a hot mess. Now, liability. Can they sue Carnival as well as the resort? We know they can sue the resort because we now have verification the two men worked for the resort. So we can put that on the back burner. They can sue them. Now, Carnival. Can they sue Carnival? Carnival puts in their website, they recommend the place. And I just read to you that they get a percentage or some type of a residual for recommending their patrons to go to the resort. So they're liable as well. Some may say yes, but you've now got it in ink that they said, yes, we recommend our patrons to go there. So now you put your foot in your mouth. Not good. This is not good at all. Hey, Skylar. Hello, everybody. Hope you all are well. Liquor way strong on the islands because they don't have the same restrictions. Well, my thing is, even with the liquor, they've already told you that there wasn't much liquor in their system. That's what's been said. They took a test when they got back on the boat. So they were not legally drunk. That's what they said. The drugs outweighed the liquor, allegedly. There you have it. It's a hot mess. That's all I can say. Because here it is, less than a few sips into the second drink. So that means we're on 2. We knew something was wrong. So they drank 1 drink. Now we're on drink 2. Few sips into drink 2, they knew something was wrong. Dobson and Shears remember being on the beach and almost immediately feeling as if something besides alcohol was in their cocktails. Less than a few sips into the second drink, we knew something was wrong. That's what they told News Nation. People back home thought something was up with them, speaking to them on video. So maybe somebody was saying, hey, what's going on? You're acting funny. Maybe people didn't, knew them not to be drinkers, which that's good evidence because somebody could say, oh, I talked to them. They went live, or however it went, video chat. Of course, you can't play back a video chat, but anyway. They don't believe their allegations were properly handled by the police, and they did not administer rape kits at their request. Is that true? Did the Bahamian police deny rape kits to these 2 women? Back on the cruise ship, they received results of their toxicology tests, which showed they had a plethora, which that means plural, of drugs in systems, including benzodiazepines. They had notably minimal alcohol in their bodies and bruising on their legs. 5 days before their vacation, the Bahamian Prime Minister, Philip Davis, insisted the country was a safe destination for tourists. And once again, the U.S. Embassy in the Bahamas released a security warning and travel advisory last month saying that the island nation is currently unsafe for tourists and 18 murders primarily motivated by gang violence in January alone. That's a lot for an island. 18 people murdered on a small island. That's a lot of people. 18 people. Then Jamaica had, I think, 35 people murdered. Let me get it right. 65 last month. For Jamaica, the State Department issued a stark travel warning for Jamaica after it was rocked by 65 murders last month. The U.S. Embassy in Jamaica upgraded the travel advisory to a level 3. Reconsider travel, quote unquote, which is just 1 level short of the most severe, which warns Americans against travel. So it must be a level 4, which is don't bring your ass over here. So that's for Jamaica. You got Bahamas, a level 2. If I'm not mistaken. This makes no sense to me. Here it says right here. Carnival actually markets this particular excursion on their website. They actually profit from the excursion, he added. And this is from Nicholas Gerson, the gentleman that is representing the 2 female friends. New York Post is the source. If you'd like to donate to this great network, stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. and $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Thank you so much. That's my commentary. I don't know where else you can take this. I don't know. This is some, Lord have mercy. What's wrong, Lo? Well, it's raining here, so this is a slow day. I'm feeling blessed. Not going to stay on here long, so I need to get me some lunch. But late lunch. And I didn't want to be on here too long. But bizarre is putting it mildly. What do you all have to say? I'll put up a poll pertaining to this information. I'm going to come back later. Because I want to talk about the Chinese migration, and I want to talk about Mr. Koiberger. Something's on my mind. I watched that Paramount documentary last night that showed a few little YouTubers in it, Miss Betty and that Jay guy, and very interesting information. And it got me to thinking about Koiberger being in the house beforehand. I really want to chop that up. Because I don't know, that was on my mind last night, watching the commentary. Has he been in the house before that fateful day that he assaulted the kids? And also the issue with those roommates. Listening to the different TikTokers talk during that documentary had my mind going, that somebody, don't know if this is true, allegedly, somebody got wind of those girls' conversation and that they were in the bottom floor bedroom together. That's not good. And the fact that friends were over at the house before police were called, that wasn't good. So who's the person that spun that web? Is there truth to what they're saying? And why? No release of the 911 call, no release of who called 911. And why the hell you didn't run there? This is for my live streams. Why the hell you did not run out of there? I'll talk about that later tonight. I might come back on, eat a little lunch, and then come back on. That's my commentary pertaining to these ladies. They are warning people about traveling over there, the two ladies. So as I said, I don't know if they have where they live to where they thought crime doesn't happen abroad. We know people get hurt everywhere. So I wouldn't leave here to go to New York or my home, Chicago or California, or go to some small town in Ohio or fucking Idaho and say to myself, oh, well, it's ain't but 5,000 people here. Nothing bad would happen to me. Oh, they don't have a lot of people. Nothing bad would happen to me. Who thinks like that? It's a myth. Bad things happen every day. People are hurt. People are robbed, assaulted. It's life. Other people had to have observed some of their goings on. Yeah. And who's going to talk? That's the point. Why anyone would tell them no to a rape kit, that's scary, something really happened to you. Well, you got to remember, this is a tourist destination, the islands. The islands are filled with poor people. Most of you know this. Those people are barely living over there. Jamaica, Bahamas. That's why everything's so damn high. You're spending all this money for shit over there that you can enjoy right here. The only thing is you're surrounded by water. Well, America's surrounded by water too. Come on. Florida, Texas, California, Washington, Oregon, East Coast, everywhere has water. But it's that, relaxation, take a cruise, dock the boat, walk around the island, drive around the island, sightsee, because it's not where you're from. So, it's understandable. But 65 people murdered in 1 month in Jamaica. And it doesn't matter if it's not near where you're going. It's still a damn island. Okay? It's an island. And I ain't about to sit here and think Jamaica's that big or the Bahamas is that big. I doubt it. So 65, 18, death is death to me. Doesn't matter where the murders took place. I'm not near there. The point is the element is there. And if these women can get off a boat and go walk up to some random resort and hang out, why would I think a random person from the Bahamas couldn't drive their car there, trolley, horse, donkey, and just walk around and pretend they're at the resort doing something constructive? Do you get my drift? I won't doubt that there are a lot of people infiltrating these islands and these places, resorts, for the grift, for the grind, for theft, for robbery. That's why you got to stay woke. And we've learned, even with the cruise ships, the people that are doing all the assaulting, they're other passengers from what I played you yesterday. So you're sitting here thinking you're in La La Land. You got to watch everybody. You're on a cruise ship, you got to watch the patrons. You got to watch the staff. And you would think, my goodness, who would pay all this money to get on a cruise to go assault somebody, beat somebody up? Because they're crazy. That's why. You think because they got on a boat, they were going to act normal? Hell no. People falling off the boat. That's another thing. How many times have we heard that? Oh, he fell overboard. I just watched a video in the shorts saying, very hard to fall off a damn boat. And more than likely, you won't be found. Because that's a lot of wah-wah. And somebody has to know you went overboard. Now, they have sensors on the boat that's supposed to alarm when anybody goes overboard. But you still got to try to turn the boat around. Watched the video yesterday. Says it takes an hour to turn a big old boat in the opposite direction. Are you hearing that? An hour. So while you're down in the water, about to freeze, get hypothermia, the boat is just barely moving to turn around to try to save you. They'll have to drop another type of boat to try to rescue you, like a jet boat. Just letting you know, if you want to travel, and common sense will tell you not to be hanging on the edge of the boat, sitting up on the rail. Why? Why would you do that? Leaning over the rail, you know that's stupid. No different than being on a high bridge and underneath the railroad tracks, concrete, cars. You don't do it here in America. Why are you going to do it when you go get on a cruise? More than likely, somebody got pushed over. And if you're that drunk that you think it's okay to sit on the railing of a moving boat into the ocean, then you need to have your head checked. Just saying. Because we know people do stupid shit when they drink. This is why a lot of people don't need to drink. Then you factor in, God forbid, they've got some drugs in them. Don't know how you would have got the drugs on a cruise ship. That's a whole nother subject. But a lot of people don't need to drink. Because if you'll act a fool on the boat in the Bahamas, Jamaica, Alaska, wherever you're going, you're acting a fool back home. Common sense. Say what? Most people don't know that they have a blank jail on most cruise ships. What do you mean a jail? I don't understand what you're saying. I don't know anything about it. But that's the latest. That is the latest information. Somebody says they'll stay on land. Huh. I guess so. Almost an hour into this live stream. Thank you for joining me. Hold on one second. Can't even get out the menu. Jesus. Hello?
Hello.
Can you speak?
Yeah.
Have you followed this? Have you followed the live stream since I've been talking?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Very messy. There's something not right, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Timestamp doesn't match whatever they told authorities from the resort.
Yeah. Something's not right here. Now my question is did they meet them before this?
How would they have met them before, Hagen?
Well, the timestamp doesn't match what they said, so maybe they met them coming right off the boat. Maybe they got the gentleman to drive them to the resort.
But you're supposed to be working. They're staffers, remember?
Yeah, but okay, even if they're employees, that doesn't mean they're going to keep an eye on them constantly.
Well, as I always tell you, always think about what you're saying. So
I understand that.
Yeah, so lay it out. So lay it all out. If they're staffers, we are going to assume they were in uniform, which was mentioned. So I met you, assumingly, at the resort.
Yeah. Okay, that would take that possibility away, but where did they first come in contact with them is my question. I mean, somewhere on the resort, but was it before the beach? Was it before the funny drinks? And how did they not have any alcohol in their system after they had supposedly already drank one and were on the second?
Well, now this article I read, I believe, said they did have alcohol, but it was, minuscule. They weren't legally drunk. Let's just go there.
Yeah. There's a lot of unknowns.
Lolo says maybe the taxi guy knew the guys at the resort. Very good question, because I thought about that too. I thought if the taxi driver being involved.
Yeah, taxi driver could have called or texted and been like, I'm bringing some people. Mm-hmm. Show them a good time or whatever you're going to do.
Mm-hmm. What I find baffling is you would risk doing this on your job, on the clock, assumingly, and not worry about getting caught and also getting fired and also catching a charge. It's too risque. Nighttime, maybe, not daylight.
Here's my next question. Have they done this before?
Well, I hadn't thought about that. Because, see, I didn't think about that because I didn't know if they were actually employees. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can always ask another question after you get some information confirmed. But, naturally, I wouldn't think that because I didn't even know if they were actual employees.
Mm-hmm.
Well, have they done this before?
Employees, it's kind of, have they done this before? Have they gotten away? Apparently, if they've done
or pushed under the rug,
away with it.
Or pushed under the rug. And who was the person that made the anonymous call to the Daily Mail to say one of them is connected to a high-ranking official or somebody important on the island? If that's true.
Unless that was a scare tactic.
Oh, to make them stop? Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
But
because, like I said, it's a big tourist town, so.
And then we have to use deduction. Lots of bad things happen in places like this, and things don't really get resolved as the case with Natalie Holloway. Look how long that bullshit went on to get justice. That went on for too long. So I can see a lot of things being pushed under the rug. Yes, as not to have people not come to the island. And that's what's so crazy about all these stories. People are still going to the islands even after hearing that people are missing. You still keep booking a cruise after hearing somebody assaulted, raped, fell overboard. I never can understand. People still will go to these places. People still will go to Mexico after all the stuff of hearing. Human trafficking, the people that live there being murdered, beheaded, thrown in ditches on the side of the road. And why the hell would you think it couldn't happen to you? That's strange to me.
Exactly. disappearing for no good reason. They see them get out of the elevator, and that's that.
Could the tape have been altered?
I don't see why it would be, but it is a possibility.
Yeah, because the flip side of that is, why alter it and then hire and fire the guys?
Well, okay, if the timestamp doesn't match, maybe the timestamp won't match because sometimes, power goes out, things happen, and your time is off, or even the date could be off. I'm saying the video equipment could be off on the timestamp. Oh, there's so many questions.
Too many.
This is craziness. Like, their story, there's still holes. And, well, now that we know that they're employees, that would be the dumbest move they could make because it's a small island. Where else could they get a job if they ever get out of jail?
Somebody hire. Because people do. Felons get hired all the time. Right here in the U.S. So you think it would be different over there? It wouldn't.
And then you'd have to ask, where did they get the drugs? How did they make the drink?
Yeah, I asked that earlier before during this live stream. Where did they make them? What was their position? Because what if they weren't even wait staff?
Exactly. They could have been just the bus people. They come and they clean up the mess at the beach.
Yeah.
Then we'd also have to wonder, here's another thing I was wondering, do they have cabanas?
I don't know. We have to look up the resort, see what it looks like.
Yeah. Did they say the name of the resort?
They have, I'd have to go back in. But it's mentioned. They've mentioned the name of it.
Because I'll have to Google and see what I can find about that. Because, they could have been cabana boys. We don't know.
It's odd. Very odd. So who's liable now? Now that we know that they work for the company, have been fired. And I also mentioned in this commentary that Carnival gets a percentage.
The resort, and I guess the cruise ship.
Mm-hmm. Nice little payout. May take a while, but they'll get something.
Maybe not if they can prove there's some holes that don't add up.
Yeah, but how are you going to prove it if they went to a secluded place?
Well, there was no rape kit, so it's their word against.
Well, I'm assuming they got a rape kit when they got on the boat. Wouldn't the nurse practitioner do something? Take a swab? I don't know. Well, they could have went straight to the emergency room when they got back dry land.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That would be the smartest thing to do.
The men did something, then maybe.
Because that'd be the smartest thing to do. If the boat didn't have a rape kit on the boat, because I know they said it did toxicology, but they didn't say a rape kit. So maybe when they got to dry land, they went straight to the emergency room and asked for a swab to say, hey, we were assaulted in the islands. We need a rape kit done.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Hopefully the DNA wasn't too degraded by then.
Well, if they didn't take a shower, wipe off anything.
Yeah, but how many days were they on the boat until they got back to their docking to the,
Well, that was the last day of the trip, Sunday. So I'm assuming the boat went back to the port in Florida.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lord have mercy.
It's like whoa.
Yeah, the more they come out with stuff, the more questions and the more unknowns. And it's like, you know what? I hate to say this, just lay it out on the table for us.
Well, if I don't have a memory, how am I going to lay it out? Allegedly. Because all we got is water, gathering the shells. It's still strange to me. If I'm feeling funny in the water, I'm not getting ready to go look for shells. I'm getting ready to go sit somewhere and be still. I'm not getting ready to go walk around. Who walks around and feels drunk or sick? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're in your face again to lead you to the gathering of the shells, you should have known something was wrong. Why are these same people coming back to me after they handed me 2 drinks that seem suspicious? It's making me feel woozy. I would have knew right then something was up when you approached me coming out of the water. See, that's where people are going to find fault in them. You say you felt funny coming out of the water. You don't find it funny. These same people who gave you the drinks are right back there in your face again and say, hey, we'll take you to find the shells. Who the hell is worrying about seashells and they feel weird?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I would have found a nice, cool spot to sit.
Exactly.
Head into the resort
and got me some water. And got me some water. They always say drink water, when you feel woozy. So that's what I would have done. I would have sat down and asked for me a water. And matter of fact, I would have went to the bar on my own and watched it come out, or bottled water, because I would say you drink bottled water, don't drink out the tap. I would ask, I need a bottled water, and I would have drank that water. I probably got me 2 bottles of water to try to, push that shit out. And then if I passed out, I've passed out in front of eyewitnesses. See? Got to think.
Yeah.
Secluded part of the resort. Where exactly? Area. Island. Where?
Well, then we also have to look at how did they get to the bathroom.
Well, and I've asked all that. Exactly.
I know, but it's that stuff has to be on CCTV because them resorts have cameras.
Well, they're already saying
it might not have
something don't add up
in the bathroom, but there's got to be a camera.
Well, you're going to have a camera of me walking to the bathroom. Got to have that.
Yeah.
Because the bathroom's going to be inside of the resort. So you just, naturally, it's going to be somewhere like right off the lobby, I would assume, or near an elevator or something like that, depending on how many levels the place has. See, we don't even know that. We don't even know if this is 1 level resort, 2, 3 levels.
Yeah, but I don't know what to say. In other cases, there's cameras on elevators, doorways, and that just kind of perturbs me about this. The timestamps don't match,
and that's what we don't understand. What are they trying to say? The timestamps don't match. Timestamps about what exactly? Because obviously they saw something with their own employees. So we got to ask, what is it that you saw that said, okay, we're going to fire them? And then you also said the women's claims. So see, this is a 2-sided sword. I saw them do something which led me to fire them, but the claims made by the women don't match the timestamp. See, this is very strange, and it won't make sense until you repeat what the hell you're talking about.
Exactly.
So once again, like Kansas City 3, you're just sitting here wondering what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah. Now we have to sit here and wonder what exactly is on that video.
Mm-hmm.
And what part of it doesn't match.
Are we going to see that they were flirting with the women and then they took them somewhere off and disappeared out of sight from the camera?
That could be possible.
Mm-hmm. They were fraternizing on the clock.
Exactly. Well, we already knew that because according to what the women said, they were.
What's that? You got some background noise. You got some background noise, honey.
I said basically we already
listen.
know that they were fraternizing because the men were babysitting the women technically.
Hey, what's that in the background of you playing?
Oh no, that's just wind chimes.
Oh, wind chimes. Okay, I didn't know what that noise was. Okay, you outside?
Yeah, I'm on the front porch.
It's not raining.
A little bit, kind of chilly.
Okay, yeah, it's raining here. Well, I don't know what else to say.
Well, hopefully they'll come out with a little more soon.
Somebody says, I hate to be the bad guy, but I'm getting grift vibes. But now I'm not sure from which side.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if somebody was set up or if things.
I don't know
Very
either.
not telling.
And how would they be grifting? They can only be grifting if they robbed the women.
Not grifting, but like.
No, this is from somebody else's comment. Somebody in the chat. They're saying they don't know which side would have been grifting. It would only be grifting on their part if they robbed the women.
Yeah, the only way it would be some kind of grift is like if the guys came to them and said, hey, we'll give you an experience you'll never forget, just give us some money.
What kind of experience would that be, Hagen?
I have no idea, but this one, from what we're hearing, is not a good one. Maybe take them on a tour of the island, or
because usually that's the purpose. But usually that's the purpose of drugging. It's to either sexually assault and or rob, or sexually assault, or you're just doing it out of spite.
Or that was just their game from the beginning. Just something doesn't seem right. The age of them.
But people rape all the time. Why are you stunned at their age? You don't think older people rape people?
Older. I don't see. I mean, yeah, it could happen, but unless they've done this before and got away with it.
Yeah. Two sinister people got together because in the end, how does one talk the other one into raping a lady? Why? Due to the fact that they are older.
Yeah.
You still had to be in unison to do it. Now we got to ask ourselves who else is involved at the hotel bingo card.
Yeah.
Because if they are just wait staff, then that means somebody made the drink.
Yeah.
And how would you have time to go take the drink and go around the corner and dump dope in it without it being seen? Then you got to stir it up so it doesn't seem visible and float to the top. See, that means the hotel is involved too. The people that work, whoever make the drinks is involved as well.
Yeah, that would.
Because I can't see the wait staff being the bartender too.
Yes.
So now that's why I question, how do you know that what they're saying is the truth about the CCTV footage? Because how far down the rabbit's hole does it go?
Well, that's why I'm saying the timestamp on the footage could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is, what does the timestamp have to do with the actual events that occurred?
Unless they're trying to say the women are lying. But then that makes no sense, because if they're lying about something, then why would you fire the guys?
Mm-hmm. Well, then wasn't it also said that they were arrested?
Somebody said, like she was saying, did they try to rob them or hurt them in some ways to make money? Girl, I don't know. This case is starting off to a confusing start. Now, what'd you say, Hagen?
I said, if the timestamp is wrong on the... Never mind.
I mean, I don't really have much to say, because it's, once again, it's like all these stories. You're not telling us anything. You just got bits and pieces of what they're saying, and it doesn't add up what they're saying. And now the CCTV don't add up to what allegedly they said. So, I mean, and then you fired the guys, and then they've been arrested. So something must have happened for you to fire them, and then something must have happened for them to get arrested. Ding, 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 ding.
Well, here's the thing. We know it made national news because, News Nation and all that. So they're going to have to get rid of the guys so that they can keep their money coming into the resort. It is a tourist town. It has to have they need a quick resolve.
Yeah, I could fire you. Listen, I could fire you, Hagen, but why am I arresting you? So you can't have one without the other.
Backlash with the United States, possibly?
We don't run anything over there. as you see with all these other countries. And nobody really it's not like people really respect America. Come on now. We're just a means to an end, like the UK, Europe, anybody coming over here spending money.
Well, the only thing I can think of then is because it's a tourist town and they want a quick resolve and they want to say that they fixed it and not swept it under the rug.
Yeah. So that's why.
Because of all the other foreign things that have happened, like in these little tourist places.
Yeah. So now we got to see who these men are and if the women will say, yes, those are the two guys that approached us with the drinks.
Yeah.
Because imagine, that ain't the two. Golly.
Yeah, because they could have the wrong guys in jail.
Yeah. Mm. This is a hot button.
Because then you got to ask, that one woman said that she had taken pictures with one of them.
Right.
Was that the guy? Do you know that was the guy?
Mm-hmm. So I wonder if she's like taking pictures.
Passed out in the bathroom.
So now we got to ask ourselves, why are we taking pictures with the staff?
Exactly. Did he offer you a different experience?
Stop it. So what are you trying to say? They went and flirted with the men, or the men flirted with them, and then what? The men went and got drinks and said, come on. That still means you still have to have drugs readily on you. And you still got to be not seen putting the drugs in the drinks. Just saying.
Yeah.
And nobody's noticing these guys. Listen, and nobody's noticing the guys leaving their post. See, that's the whole point of this story. Ain't nobody telling the shit the way it should be told.
Yeah.
What did they do at the damn resort? Why nobody noticed they're not from their post working?
Exactly.
Gotta make it make sense. I fired you because what? What reason were they fired? Why were they fired? What were they doing? On the camera. Or not on the camera. Just.
Well, they had to have time to put drugs in the.
That's what I'm saying. You got to stir it up. Yeah, you can't just drop it in the drink. It's going to sit at the top. You just drop it in. It's got ice. You know, maybe it had ice in it or crushed ice. I don't know. Or it was liquefied. I don't know.
Unless they were seen putting something in the drink.
On the camera, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that's even more stupid. You're risking your job and going to jail to drug the women and then assault the women while on the clock. This is crazy to me.
Well, that's why I'm wondering if this has not happened before.
May have.
Because, most criminals, if they think they can get away with it again, they'll try it again.
Yeah. And you don't wake up at 40 and 54 assaulting women either.
Yeah.
You've probably done this before. So then we got to ask that. Do they have criminal records for a sexual assault?
Yeah. Unless they haven't been caught till now.
Yeah. But they've done it to somebody. Probably done it. They probably done it. Listen, at least one have done it to an island person.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you don't wake up.
Even in the resort.
They're too old to just be waking up starting to assault women. They've been doing this.
Yeah.
At least one has been doing it. And talk the other one into doing it.
A lady drunk, or you do something to her in the resort, she can just scurry up to her room, or just wake up passed out, didn't know what happened, and just go up to her room and continue with her vacation.
So what?
I'm talking like if they had done it to someone that was staying at the resort.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're so bold, I could see them trying to walk the person to the damn room. They knew they were staying there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're walking away from your post. To me, there's other people that have to be involved in this, because it don't add up. You're watching people swim, do this and that, and then now, okay, here I want to take you to go get rocks and shit. It's That don't make no sense to me.
There's too many variables, and a resort is a big place, and I don't think you can keep an eye on, everybody.
Yeah, but see, that's the whole point. We don't know how big the place is. See, we don't know how big it is. We don't know their positions. But it seemed like to me, somebody still would have been saying, even a bystander, damn, they was just talking to them. Okay, now the girl's in the water. Now they're out the water. Okay, they're back over there. 2 guys. It don't take 2 guys to bring drinks.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I don't care what your position is. 2 guys bringing drinks. That's why I said, unless you got a really, really big place and you're navigating outside to be carrying drinks to the women, the women and men on the beach or whatever. See, because we don't even know how it was set up.
Yeah. And see, we don't even know if the resort was short-staffed that day or that week.
That could be a problem as well. Exactly. Like bartenders now the wait staff.
Yeah. And like I said, we don't know if they had cabanas, all that mess either. So.
Well, the women need to tell how busy it was. They need to tell what those guys were doing, what their positions were, how many people were in the area where they got the drinks. Did they watch them go get the drinks from the bartender? See, that all is going to make sense to try to, to try to put the story together. How far is the place where you woke up versus the picking the seashells? See, something or whatever they were picking up. That's where it's confusing as well, because allegedly you say you were in the bathroom. So you couldn't, I thought you would have been waking up at the secluded place. Because how you get from the secluded place to the bathroom, but then passed out in the bathroom? I'm assuming the guy would have assaulted you wherever you woke up. So now you're telling me.
I'm guessing if they did anything, it was in the bathroom.
So then that means then that had to have been after the picking of the shells.
Yes. That's what I'm assuming, because.
So that's a whole lot of following somebody around. Think about that for just a second. That means you have gone up and gave drinks, waited for them to come out the water, took them for the seashells, and then followed them into the bathroom and raped them and left them there.
Well, at this point, anything's possible, but what I'm saying is, like, the bathroom would be the only place that did not have cameras. So that would be your best bet if you were going to do something to someone.
Ann says someone is lying. Now the problem is who and why. The lady's story isn't adding up, but the firing and arrests aren't making sense either. Exactly. Well said, Ann. None of it makes sense. What I see on the camera don't match this, whatever this is. So I fired them. So you fired them because for what? What were they doing for you to fire? Now they're arrested. But then what do you have to arrest them on the allegations that from the women?
Well, they could have got arrested on the allegations as a witness, and then the resort fired them because they were arrested. But other than that, I don't see until a conviction or, what they could have, unless it was like one of those areas to do that.
Well, they're saying they had Juniper. Juniper, they're saying they had 2 drinks. Started feeling funny on the second drink, allegedly. I don't know.
Yeah, but see, that doesn't make sense either. Because the one lady said she had no alcohol in her system. The other one said she had a tiny, minute amount.
Yeah.
How do you have that little amount on your second drink? And they had the gastric bypass.
I think what they're trying to say, and I could be wrong, we drank, but it wasn't legally drunk by standards of the test. See, there's a difference. You have alcohol in you, but were you legally drunk? So that's basically what they're saying. We took the test. The test says we weren't legally drunk, but we had alcohol in us.
And then the other question is, how did they have enough time to get back on the boat?
Yeah, well, we got to find out when the boat left, too. We don't know when it left.
This story just does not sound right at all.
It's raining here. Breaking up.
All right, well, put your life jacket on.
Honey, I'm right in here. I ain't going outside. Shoot. You see how I just permed my hair? I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to come back on and I'm going to talk about Koi Burger because I want to get that off my chest. There's some stuff bothering me about that.
Yeah.
Well, now, okay, before you check out, what's your synopsis? Wait, hold on. What is your synopsis now knowing that they did work there and they've been fired and arrested? Now I got to ask if they've been bonded out.
The story still doesn't make sense. There are too many holes, and there's still, like, it seems something don't smell right.
Ann is saying why they were fired and arrested, why they won't say why they were fired and arrested. Exactly. You're trying to tell us CCTV footage don't match the women's claims, but we did fire the guys for not following policy. So what is it that they weren't doing, the guys, and what are the claims from the women? I don't know. First, I don't know.
Yeah, because here's the other thing. The guys could have been arrested for something other than what has happened. For stealing, tampering, anything.
Or just goofing off.
Yeah.
Just not being, like I said, you're not at your post. Maybe the camera showed that. You're all over the place. You're over here, you're over there. You're not doing your job. Because we don't even know what their job title was.
I mean, yeah, exactly. They could have been fired for other reasons. Or the allegation that's being brought upon them, or the fact that they got arrested for some reason.
Well, why? Well, let's go here. Why did the lady have scratches on her legs? Because I showed the picture.
If she was out hunting shells and
but you're around, but I'm saying, why would your legs get scratched up if you're only unless you fail? And if you're on sand, you're not going to hurt yourself falling on sand. You're not going to get scratched up falling on the beach.
Well, here's the other thing. She could have fell in the bathroom and hurt herself.
Yeah, but I still can't see getting scratched up even if I fell in the bathroom.
Or if there was any rocky area that they were hunting shells, she could have scraped herself. I was moving furniture the other day and bruised my leg.
Yeah. Well, they said they got bruised and then one of the legs was scratched up. So that's what I'm saying. The scratching is if he grabbed the legs trying to hold them down or something, he had fingernails. I don't know. So very peculiar.
She could have been scratched with a shell. I'm not saying something didn't happen, but what I'm saying is there's so many variables at this point until they actually come out with some more. We're just sitting here guessing. Lord have mercy.
It's just.
It seems like the more they come out with, the more questions we have. I feel like we're not going to get answers until we may never get answers. It's another country.
Mm-hmm. And that's my fear. It's that all this he said, she said, all this don't match, this and that. We know how shit goes down in other countries. And all they are for is bringing the people there to make money, buy homes, rental homes, summer homes, whatever. That's their goal on those islands. That is just their goal, is to make money. They're poor places, and that's all they're about. They don't really give a fuck about the people visiting. They don't give a fuck about their own people. It's just a money pit. And we have to pray that they'll get justice if indeed the women were sexually assaulted by the two men, drugged by the two men. And then we have to ask ourselves if somebody else is also involved at the resort that aided these two men to drug the women.
No, that's why I say it could be possible these two guys are the fall guys. That they might not have been the ones that, I know that's far-fetched, but they didn't start the process, or they've been doing this for a while. I mean, there's just no,
Yeah, only thing I can see clearing this up is an eyewitness to show that they all were together, either away from the resort or in the resort, and went down a hall corridor. CCTV footage shows all four of them going somewhere in the resort together, secluded area, and then the rape kit. That's all you're going to have. Eyewitness, rape kit, and CCTV footage to show that they all were mingling together in a capacity that wasn't professional.
Exactly, and that's what could have gotten the men fired. fraternizing with the patrons.
Yeah. Because frankly, if I'm to believe their version, they were hanging on to these women a little too much for you to be working on the clock.
Oh yeah, that's why I said it sounded like they were babysitting them.
Because they could have went on. You could have told them where the rocks were when they first ordered the drink or drinks, and then they could have went on the excursion by themselves to find the rocks. I don't need you to follow me. You're here working on the over here at the resort. What are you doing? Taking me to go find damn rocks. I don't need you to show me. Just say which direction to go in. I'll see you later. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need a babysitter.
That's why I said we got to see how big the property is. How far is the place where they got the rocks? Did they get the shells? See, that's another thing I meant to ask. Did they actually get the shells? I thought I saw a picture where she had one in a picture, but that's another thing. If I got assaulted in the bathroom, would I still have the seashells? See, you got to ask all that.
Yeah.
It's just a hot mess, man. All right. Well, I thank you. I'll be back on a little later to talk about Mr. Koiberger. I want to talk about him and the roommates.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
What time are you doing dinner? Because I'm trying to. I don't want to be on the live all for hours, so I want to get in and get out.
I'm gonna start dinner around 4. We're just having manwich.
Okay, so it's 3:20. So I'm gonna eat something, then I'm gonna come back. Okay. Okay, honey. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That's Hagen. Thank you for joining me. New information pertaining to this debacle out of the Bahamas. CCTV footage allegedly doesn't match the women's claims. A timestamp. What is the timestamp that they're speaking of? Were the clocks right, on right time? What is not matching up? Men work there. What were their positions? They've been fired, also arrested. Have they bonded out? Advisories were mentioned from the state and the embassy pertaining to the Bahamas. How is it that these women did not know? Did these women go off along with the men to look for seashells and got assaulted there at that location? But then how did they get back to the bathroom and be found in the bathroom? Or was it only one found in the bathroom? See, I don't know. But this is where there's discrepancies because we don't really know how in the time from the water to hunting seashells to being in the bathroom. What is on the damn tape that got the guys fired? Does it show them fraternizing with these women, other women? Does it show them drugging the women? Does it show anybody else in cahoots with drugging them? I got a feeling it's deeper than just the two. Because if they're not bar staff to make the drinks, how are you going to hand me the drink and then I got to now go take it somewhere and put something in it and stir it up? I mean, I already have to have the drug ready in my hand to dump it in there. And then it says it was a plethora of drugs. So that means that's more than one, more than two, perhaps. So how would they be able to put it in if they were just wait staff? So is this an issue of dirty bartender, dirty wait staff? And then they chose these two women, took them somewhere on the island and assaulted them. But then you got to say, well, where are the cameras? Where are the eyewitnesses? How are you raping women in broad daylight? 2 men on 2 women? That's too odd for me. Nighttime, like with the Natalie Holloway story, she went off with the guy and his friend at night somewhere where nobody could see. That's different. Daytime, why are you following these guys and they're supposed to be working? That's not a part of their job description. You're not even at the resort as a patron. You're visiting from another damn boat. So all this is very strange. Hello, Pinto. Very strange and bizarre. When I get more information, I will bring you an update. Join me here a little bit later for live number 2. It's going to be pertaining to Brian C. Koiberger and the roommates. There's something on my mind from watching that Paramount documentary that is now in the YouTube queue. I am curious about this allegation of the girls repeating conversation to someone, allegedly, that they were in the house and they heard all this that went on and were in the downstairs bedroom, which would have belonged to the other girl on the bottom floor, Bethany. Okay? Because one thing I thought about while listening to that BS last night, you went and told people, you two talked about it in the house, told other people that came to the house the next day, at least an hour went by before 911 was called, Please don't tell me you slept in a house with a murderer. Okay? Please tell me you did not sleep in a house while your friends were being murdered and then think to run your ass out of there, jump in a car, run down the street, do something. That's too strange for me. Utterly, utterly strange. Because that would be baffling to find out they were in that house wide awake and stayed in there up until calling people and then showing the dead people off. That's more than macabre. Because we have to ask ourselves, the person who said there was a group chat and they are talking about whatever the hell went on in that house. That's scary to me. And it's sick that you didn't think about yourself. You didn't think about your friends and you didn't think about yourself. That you would stay in a house with dead people who were butchered and not run out of there and go to safety. That makes no sense to me. And why were other people at that house the next morning? All that, the shuffling outside is cold. See, none of that made sense. So what I thought was they found their friends and then ran outside. And then people saw them screaming and hollering. That was the version that they gave. Somebody gave that version. They were out there hollering and screaming or whatever. People came up and then somebody used the phone to call 911. But then that means somebody you knew just so happened to be walking by and saw you passed out. Some very bizarre shit. And I'm just one of the type of people, I just don't trust nothing that come out of people's mouths. I just don't. And someone will say, well, but that means you're saying they knew that their friends were dead or dying or whatever. Yeah. Because possibly that's how it went. Because we have to remember one thing. Dylan opened the door 3 times. So that means you opened it 3 times while this thing was in there butchering your friends. And no matter who the target was, he still killed 4 people and left 2. He's had to have known they all were friends. They all lived in the house. He's watched this house. And that's what I want to come back and talk about. He's been to that house. And has he been in that house before that morning? Because they've got him at least 10 times going to that house. So he knew the girls were friends. He knew other people lived there. Okay? He knew this. And you opening and closing damn doors means you are doing this while he's in there. And like somebody said the other day, how is it I'm supposed to believe none of the people screamed for their lives? You know, stop, quit, leave me alone, get off of me. They were all quiet victims. No way I believe that. No way I'm going to believe 4 people were quiet victims. No. Stay tuned. Live number 2. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. Take the polls on my community page. Extensive content, 2,000 plus videos for your entertainment. Please check out the community page for new movies. Marriage Killer is one of my suggestions to watch this weekend if you are interested. And also, I think there's one called My Clients. I'll come back with that recommendation a little bit later. But please check out my community board for said information. On my community page, take the polls, and then we'll come back later and discuss any more new polls. And happy Friday to all of you. Please be safe out this weekend if you're traveling, watching the Super Bowl. Get a designated driver. Be aware of your faculties. Just stay safe, stay warm, and join me back here a little bit, about an hour or so. I'll be talking about the Idaho 4 because there's something on my mind, and I want to dissect it with the viewing audience. You all have a wonderful weekend. Hello, honey. Thank you so much. And we will continue to chop up this storyline as well because it looks like it's all over the place because I don't know what to believe at this point. I'm not here to say the women are lying, but I don't know what's going on with the Bahamian resort, the police, these guys, if they're the guys. I don't know. We'll just wait to see if there's going to be DNA testing to match a rape kit done here in the United States. Hopefully they came back and did a rape kit. Something was found to compare to these guys. Got to see if these are the guys that were the ones that gave them the drinks. Why did they get fired? What's on the CCTV footage that doesn't match what the women claim? This is all bizarre to me. We will see. Thank you for your time. Once again, if you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie129 Cash App, stickers and chats. Always welcome to the live stream. Hello, Sundown. Thank you, Pinto. All of the viewing audience, and thank you all so much. Be back a little bit later. Stay tuned for live number 2 about Brian Korberger, the roommates. Has he been in a house before? And were the roommates up and stayed up and knew what happened to their friends and chose not to call 911? Because as I said, if they did that, these are some sick bitches, okay? Because I'm not going to sit nowhere, no house, knowing my friends were just killed. I'm coming up out of there. He'd have to chase me down the damn driveway, but I'm not staying in that house. So whoever's making up this content about a group chat and that the women were in the house and heard everything that went on and stayed in that house, I hope for their sake that's a lie. The same. You're welcome, honey. Thank you, Ann. Talk to you guys later. You've been listening to The Fall Exhale.